Garth Crooks isn't just a name etched in the annals of English football. He's a living testament to the beautiful game's ugliest scars, a trailblazer who rose from Jamaica's sun-drenched shores to England's unforgiving pitches, only to stare down racism's venom head-on. Born March 21, 1958, in Stoke-on-Trent to Jamaican parents who emigrated seeking better lives, Crooks became Stoke City's first black player since the 1940s, when he debuted at 18 in March 1976 against Coventry City. His breakthrough season in 1976-77 saw him top the scoresheet with 19 goals, a feat he repeated in 1977, his predatory instincts and unyielding drive turning heads amid the era's brutal spotlight. But Crooks's 14-year playing odyssey, from 1976 to 1990, was no fairy tale. It unfolded against a backdrop of relentless racial hostility that defined the late 1970s as football's nadir of unabashed bigotry. Bananas hurled from terraces, monkey chants echoing like thunder, derogatory banners mocking his heritage. These weren't anomalies. They were the soundtrack to his success. What made Crooks's story particularly searing was the institutional shrug. Black players like him were expected to cope, their endurance a twisted badge of character. As Crooks later reflected in a 2012 Guardian interview, it was made clear to us that we had to endure it, a test of manhood. This mandate shifted the burden from perpetrators to pioneers, transforming survival into a silent rite. Yet Crooks forged ahead, his cocky arrogance a psychological armor forged in fire, shielding him through 741 club appearances and 10 England caps. From Stoke's Pottery's grit to Tottenham's white-hot pressure, his path was paved with prejudice, but his post-playing advocacy, through the PFA and beyond, has been a crusade dismantling the structures that let it fester. This is Garth Crooks, the striker who scored against hate, the advocate who won't let football forget its sins. Crooks' roots trace to Jamaica's lush landscapes, where his parents toiled before chasing opportunity in Stoke-on-Trent's industrial haze. Arriving as a child, Garth navigated a city where West Indian immigrants faced suspicion, but football offered a fragile bridge. At Bucknell's secondary modern school, he shone in PE, his lanky frame belying a striker's instinct that caught local scouts' eyes. By 14, he joined Stoke City's youth ranks, debuting for the first team on March 6, 1976, in a 2-1 loss to Coventry, a substitute cameo that hinted at promise amid a relegation scrap. At 18, he was a rarity, Stoke's first black player since pre-war days, stepping into a first-division cauldron where racial slurs were as common as corner flags. His full debut April 3rd against Luton Town saw him score in a 3-1 win, a rocket that silenced doubters and sparked hope in a Pottery's side yo-yoing between glory and gloom. The 1976-77 season exploded, 19 goals in 43 games, top scoring as Stoke finished 12th, his poise under pressure, chesting crosses, volleying venomously, earning PFA Young Player nods, repeating as top scorer in 1977-78, 12 goals. Crooks' partnership with Alan Hudson dazzled, but darkness loomed, terraces alive with monkey jeers, bananas lobbed like grenades. Every game was war, he recalled in a 2019 BBC interview. The abuse a psychological siege that tested resolve. Yet institutional whispers echoed, "Toughen up, it's character building." This victim-blaming ethos, as Crooks critiqued in his 2012 Guardian piece, Inverted Justice, demanding black players prove worth through silent suffering. His cocky arrogance? Not hubris, but armor, a strut that screamed defiance amid dehumanization. The 1979 Len Cantello testimonial at West Brom's Hawthorns crystallized the era's insidious normalcy. May 15, 1979, a white inth, Cantello's all-British Irish squad, versus a black inks, Regis, Cunningham, Crooks up top, drawing 23,500 spectators in a match billed as friendly fun. Crooks scored in a 2-2 draw, but the optics, stark segregation by skin, sanctioned by a major club as entertainment. Cantello later admitted in a 2012 Guardian reflection, "We didn't see it as controversial then, but Crooks saw the rot. Skin as selection criterion, football's blindness laid bare. No outrage, no bans, just applause for the absurdity." This test of character masked systemic failure, where abuse was endurance sport, victims the unwilling athletes. Internal battles compounded the external barrage. At Stoke, manager Alan Durbin, despite Crooks' scoring prowess, shifted him to winger in 1978-79, a mismatch for his striker's soul. "I was a fox in the box, not a wide flyer," Crooks vented in a 2019 BBC Sport podcast, his bold critique a rarity for a 20-year-old in the 70s hierarchy. Restored to centre forward, he netted 14 in 1979-80, staving off relegation. But tension simmered. The 1979-80 season's survival, despite his goals, ignited a transfer request. Tottenham's $650,000 swoop in summer 1980 was escape, not ambition. External hate, internal friction, unsustainable, he told The Guardian in 2012. The dual assault fracturing focus. At Spurs under Keith Birkinshaw, Crooks thrived. 1981 FA Cup semi-finalist, 2-1 loss to Manchester City. 1982 Cup Winners' Cup semi-finalist, 4-3 aggregate loss to Barcelona. His 1981-82 season, 8 goals in 42 games, showcased vision, assists to Steve Archibald, runs that ripped defences, but a 1982 knee injury sidelined him. Loans to Charlton and Newcastle bridging to Manchester United in 1984. At United, under Ron Atkinson, he added steel to flair. But Ron's 1986 sacking and Alex Ferguson's arrival saw him loaned to West Brom, 1986-87, 12 games, 2 goals, then released. Stints at Charlton, 1987-88, 28 games, 3 goals, and Wimbledon, 1988-90, 36 games, 4 goals capped his playing days, retiring at 32 after 460 league games and 63 goals. England's call came amid West Brom's 1978-79 surge, Greenwood debuting him May 23, 1979, vs Wales 0-0, his crosses carving chances in a tepid tie. As Albion's third-place finisher, his pace, clocked at 10.4 seconds for 100 metres, promised dynamism, but Greenwood's caution curbed it. Sub in Argentina, 3-1 win, May 26, 1979. Starter vs Ireland, 2-0 Euro qualifier. February 6, 1980. He dazzled sporadically. His 1980 Sweden sub, 2-0 win, and Austria start 4-3 loss flashing flair. Northern Ireland, 1-1 sub, and Iceland, 1-2 sub, closed his 6 caps, no goals. But Greenwood noted his facility to frighten fullbacks. Euro 1980's narrow midfield excluded him. Rix's reliability trumped his injury-hit Madrid spell. Post-playing, Crooks channeled pain into purpose. Joining the PFA in 1991, he rose to chairman 2007-12, his advocacy a battering ram against racism. The 2011 Suarez-Evra case exposed loopholes. Clubs back accused stars for commercial gain. Sidelining victims, he told The Guardian 2012. Liverpool's Evra interrogation post-ruling a discouragement tactic. Terry's Ferdinand abuse. Inverted priorities, field players over ethics, PFA's neutrality. A breakdown point must investigate player-player disputes. His 2010 U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum podcast linked racism and anti-Semitism. If prejudice poisons sport, it metastasizes society. 2019's Cantona moment warning, fearing player backlash like Cantona's 1995 Kung Fu kick, urged action amid rising abuse. The Rooney Rule? Fair crack for black coaches, he pushed in 2014 CNN interviews. FIFA mandates, enforce anti-racism or face bans. His 2012 parliamentary testimony blasted banter as abuse's vehicle. Online slurs normalize hate. Post-PFA, BBC Match of the Day punditry. 2012, his voice demands accountability. 2019's work to be done with Sol Campbell echoing his crusade. Crooks' saga, from Stoke's scoring sensation to Tottenham's tenacity, is football's unflinching mirror. Glory amid bigotry. Survival as strategy. His 1990 police stop, accused of shoplifting despite charity ties, mocked by a constable, crystallized systemic rot. If I have no chance, who does? Complaint filed for incivility. It validated Black Britain's battles. PFA critiques, Suarez's Liverpool backing, Terry's Chelsea shield, exposed commercial complicity. Players for profit. Principles be damned. His Rooney Rule push Holocaust podcast And 2019 Cantona moment fears, players will snap. Warn of backlash without reform. Sports salvation? Teamwork teaches tolerance. Embrace differences or destroy the game. From Terrace's taunts to PFA's podium, Crooks evolved from victim to vanguard. His legacy a blueprint for purging prejudice. Neutrality's end. Investigations mandate. Oversight's glare. At 67 his voice thunders. Football's conscience unbowed Garth Crooks, the striker who scored against silence. From Jamaica's dreams to England's demons, his goals, grit and gospel endure. Drop your Crooks take below. Smash like for his fight, subscribe for more football fire. Let's keep the conversation kicking.